I said I tipped an Uber guy for the first time because he just was like a hard ass working guy, and he was just like hustling like crazy. He gets up at 6 a.m. to drive his kid to school, a half hour to drive his kid to school. Then from the time he drops his kid off to his start of his regular 9 to 5, he drives for Uber for an hour, works a full day till 4:30. When he gets off, he goes and drives with Uber till 11 o'clock at night.
That's insane.
This is E-Commerce Uncensored. Brought to you by Fast Forward Unlimited. We're coming to you fully loaded and exposed with all the strategies and techniques for growing your e-commerce business.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us on another episode of E-Commerce Uncensored. This is episode number 65. My name is Kevin Manell. I'm here with
Jason Caruso
and
Paul Chu.
Hi guys.
Hey Kevin.
How's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
How are you doing is the question.
Hopefully I don't fall asleep during this episode.
Yeah, you're a little tired today.
A little bit of a late night last night.
We went to go see JT.
Justin Timberlake, and you didn't even like him that much.
I was a little underwhelmed. Underwhelmed? Is that something?
Underwhelmed, yeah. That's a word.
You know, it was a good time going out with my wife without the kids. We went out to the bar beforehand. We watched the Elite Eight. Was it last night?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In the NCAA tournament. So that was fun. We drank a lot at the bar. It's a nice bar, too, right across the street from the Prudential Center. I think it's called Edison Ale House. It was fun.
And your life wasn't at risk?
It got crazy. No, it was actually really nice.
That's good.
But the crowd got crazy, like towards the end of the concert, or towards the beginning of the concert, it got really crazy in there. So, but it was a good time going out. But the concert, I like Justin Timberlake, but it was just like too much of a performance, I guess. It was like, you know how the Super Bowl halftime show was, and it was kind of like
more like dancing around than anything else.
Yeah.
And I like him too, to be honest with you. Like, it always seems like he has like the bet. Like he's like Ed Sheeran. It's like Ed Sheeran, whether you like him or hate him, puts out hit after hit after hit. I mean, literally doesn't stop. Right? I mean, Perfect. This is like a new one that just came out. That's like off the charts. Something Castle was the one before. Like, everyone he comes out with is just like amazing. It's
there's really talented guys, but it was almost like distracting with the screens and
a lot of theatrics.
The runway that they had that ran all along the arena. There was at one point they had a campfire in the middle of the stage. The screens that come down where they projected the video of the concert. It was just too much. Like, if he just like kind of sang his songs, and a lot of the songs were like his new songs that I didn't know, so it was kind of.
Yeah, they're very different from his old school stuff that
I actually
you
like
guys
his
probably
new
fell in
stuff.
love with. Do you know his newest album though?
Yeah, I do actually.
Really?
Yeah.
It's very different.
It is, but there's two songs right now on the radio that I love. One's called Say Something.
Yep.
Love that song. And then there's another one that I don't know the name of that I really like.
Well, we were just about to walk out, and it was very funny because it was our demographic, like my age group, pretty much, that was there.
Yeah.
Like parents with like little kids, perhaps, and we were getting ready. We're like, let's get out of here. Maybe we'll get an Uber before the mad rush. So we wanted to get out, and then right before we were about to walk out, he started playing "Can't Stop the Feeling." The song,
saving that for last.
The song and we didn't think he would play that because it's really not like it's a song from Trolls. And I don't know if he made it specifically for that movie or what. I love the song. But like my wife obviously starts taping because my kids are going to want to see that part. They were upset that they didn't get to go with us, and we're like and you could see, like, we looked around and like everybody was filming that last song because they were for the same reason that they want to go home and show their kids.
Yeah, that it was in Trolls.
But that was cool. It was a good ending.
I can't find the name of this song, but Say Something's a big one.
But it was way too much, and whatever. It was a good time.
That's good.
This music wasn't great, but anyway.
You're tired from that. Long story short, you're tired from that experience.
And I had a really nice. Okay, Jason.
Oh yeah, I know what song you're talking about.
Say Something is.
I actually had a really nice ride home. Like, it took a while to get the Uber, like a half hour by the time we got out. Like, I ordered the Uber. It was $70 at midnight, and It was a mad rush. Everybody was waiting for Ubers. There was even an Uber line. Okay, Jason.
Quit disrupting Kevin's story.
Yeah.
We should, Kevin. You should play this song for our intro.
How can you not like this song?
That's cool.
Do a little JT,
I like that song.
little JT addition for this episode. Anyway, continue.
No, I had a nice. I talked to you guys earlier about the ride home with this Uber guy that I said I tipped an Uber guy for the first time because he just was like a hard ass working guy, and he was just like hustling like crazy. He gets up at 6 a.m. to drive his kid to school, half hour to drive his kid to school. Then from the time he drops his kid off to his start of his regular 9 to 5, he drives for Uber for an hour. Works a full day till 4:30. When he gets off, he goes and drives with Uber till 11 o'clock at night.
That's insane.
Gary V would love him.
Yeah,
I mean, me personally,
hustle.
Like, I don't know. I told you guys this story earlier. Like a buddy of mine who's really successful, owns a big construction company. And he basically said to me, he's like, just because you work hard, put in the time, and work a lot of hours, it doesn't mean that you're guaranteed success. And it was something that just always stuck in my head because, like, if you listen to Gary V, it's like work as much as you can until you can't walk anymore. When you're hanging out with your wife, hustle. When you're hanging out with your kids, be on Instagram hustling. And I mean, I know like he doesn't say that, but that's kind of what he pretends this, or like what he
like we were saying before, I don't know, like I know I come to Gary V's defense a little bit with you because I like him, but what he means is people who are complaining that they're not millionaires or complaining that they're not the top dog in a certain market, they gotta hustle. If you're fine and content with your life, which hopefully everybody is,
but I think it's misguided though. Just hustling doesn't mean anything. Like you have to know, like when.
Yeah, you have to know. You have to know things. You have to be lucky, like you said earlier. You have to have skill and talent and intelligence. But if you have all those and you're not working hard, then you're still not going to get to success. I think that's all he means. Like,
yeah,
you're right. Working hard doesn't get you to success, but you can't be successful unless you also are working hard.
Yeah, I mean, like working hard, I believe you will find something that will eventually make you successful. But just to work hard and hustle on a project, it doesn't necessarily mean that project's going to work out. I mean, we get clients in here all the time that have products that, like they work really hard to develop, and it doesn't mean anything. Like it doesn't mean that people are going to buy it. Right. And, I was talking to Kevin at lunchtime today, right? And I've mentioned before that I used to have a blog with somebody, and we just kind of reconnected, and we started this course that literally, sold like 140 memberships in like 10 days, right? And, we here for 2 years have really been trying a lot of different things, right? And we work hard at these things. But like this course that we created with this person I used to work with, we really didn't work that hard on it. We really, seriously, like I just did what we tell everybody to do. Like, validate the product first and try to sell it, see if people will give you money for it, and then start building it. And that's sort of what we did, and the course sold like crazy. So I think like it ties into this, right? Like it's just, just working hard doesn't necessarily, people have to want what you're selling.
Well, I think the whole thing comes down to like what you define as success, right? Maybe this guy, success to him was just the fact that he could send his kids to private school, not the fact that he's like going to be a millionaire or he's going to be able to retire in a few years. Was his definition of success. But if you want to like have millions and millions of dollars and be like Gary Vee, he's like, maybe you have to hustle. You got to be working 16 hours a day, like he talks to you about. But that's not something that I think is necessarily, and I think you agree, is a successful life. Like we feel like success is a balance between the two of them, making a good amount of money, but also having the time to yourself, not to yourself, but to your family, not stressing about the fact that you might not be making $1 million this year. That's more successful, I think, than...
Yeah, I mean, if you think about like $1 million, right? Like if you make $1 million and then die with that $1 million in the bank, it's like you made nothing, right? Because $1 million is only worth $1 million when you spend it. Right? So if you're going to hoard it and you're going to save it and that's all you're going to do, which I know a lot of people talk about, like to me, like that in itself doesn't really mean anything, right? Like like it goes back to the Bible, right? Like what is it to gain the world if you lose your soul? Like, right? It's the same sort of thing. Like, what is it to be rich if like you have no relationship with your kids or your family? Like, to me, I don't look at Gary Vee and I like him as a figurehead, but to me that's not, as you say, that's not success. To me, being away from your family so that you can be, own the jets is not successful to me. Like, to me, being able to like wake up and my son see me wake up next to him, or see, that to me is success. And like, I know that people may or may not agree with me, but that's just how I see it. And I feel like tomorrow everything could be taken away. Mm-hmm. And if we spoke about this before, if you knew in a year you were gonna die, God forbid, would you be like doing what you're doing? Like, I think the answer is no for most people. And maybe Gary Vee, if he knew he was gonna die in a year, that's what he'd be doing. But I know that's not what I would be doing.
This is a part of I was a big Dave Ramsey follower, and I listen to his podcast and read his books and do the whole thing. And his main thing is like setting yourself up for retirement. And we talked about this earlier. It's like I'm working my ass off. I'm saving all this money so that when I turn 65, I can spend it. But what am I going to be able to do at 65?
Right.
Yeah.
There's so many things I want to do now to spend my money on. So it's like you said, it's backwards.
It is backwards. Like, you save your entire life so that when you're 65 and in a walker, now you're going to enjoy your life. Like, that to me is like not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the other way around. Like,
yeah, it's a broken system that like as a whole society sort of like gives off to people. Like, this is the way you're supposed to live. This is the way you're supposed to work. But look, that's why we're doing this, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. I mean, we're all trying to break out of that sort of routine and break out of that sort of lifestyle.
Kevin likes it.
Yeah, I just like to work all the time. I like to go home. I like to work.
It is a weird, I said this earlier, it is like a weird dichotomy because you do have to work to be able to enjoy yourself.
Right.
But I sometimes wonder if we do take advantage enough of our ability to do things that we like to do, so to speak. Right? And I tell you guys this all the time. Like, when my wife and I met, I said to her the first day, look, I play golf on Saturday mornings. I go to Myrtle Beach every October with my buddies and play golf. If that is a problem with you, the other days, the other time of the year, the other 6 days are all yours. And by the way, I only play golf on Saturday mornings in the summertime. So during the winter, like, I'll do anything you want me to. Doesn't matter. But I do that. And if that's a problem with you, I'm the wrong guy. Right? I told her that. And it's funny because when you talk to her, as much as it bothers her, she agrees that that's the conversation we had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I set it up to where I do what I love to do every single Saturday morning. And I'm not going to give that up for anybody. Like, because like, you just don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, And
I think the way the world is right now, and the internet and social media, and the way you can just become an entrepreneur and just start a business is like totally like an awesome time to be in, right? It's like you can tomorrow start something and go out and start something for yourself and give yourself the freedom. And I think that's what we have here. It's nice that we have this, we have some freedom here where we could kind of just get up and create anything we want, when we don't have to worry about clients and stuff.
Yeah, it's funny because this morning, like yesterday, I was suffering from like this major migraine from like 12 o'clock, like all through the night and the morning this morning. And I was like late. I didn't end up getting here late. But I was late. I was like, but I'm very like, I have to leave my house at this time to get there at this time, and it's nice that, you have that freedom. Like if you come in a little late or whatever, it's not like you're in a position where you're going to lose your income or your job or whatever. And that's in that point, it's great. Like I know if I have like a rough night where I don't sleep well, I'll just, I'm not going to rush to get somewhere exactly when I normally are there, and we have that freedom.
Yeah, like if you go to a concert and you're a little hungover the next day.
Kevin. Although Kevin didn't come in, he didn't exercise that right.
But just think about how today went, for instance. Like we came in, we had this plan. We met on Friday last week, and we said we're going to come in, we're going to do this, we're going to outline our week, we're going to send our clients these reports, our deliverables for that week. But then we had this conversation this morning. We did what we said. We talked about it. But then right after lunch, I don't know how we got into it, but we got into this product that we've seen has had success. And now we already have a landing page that's prepared for that product.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I guess it is. We literally set up a business today within like
within a couple hours.
Yeah.
Within the afternoon.
Right.
Well, that's the beauty of one, like we're saying, the freedom that we can do that. Like, yes, we have other work to do for clients, but we have the freedom to be entrepreneurs and do something, go on another venture that we want, and just the ability of like the internet that you can do that.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, it's funny because whether our clients appreciate it or know it or not, we actually do more than we're supposed to do in our agreements. So it's not as if like if we take a day for ourselves, it's like we're taking away from them because we actually give them too much. We actually talk about trying not to give them as much because it doesn't help us. It hurts us.
Yeah, and I didn't tell you this, but I got a text from Jason, I don't know what day, I think it was over the weekend. He said, Thursday it's going to be 56 degrees. I heard we have a client meeting in the morning. And I wrote back, I was like, yeah, I think it may last 4 or 5 hours.
Basically, we're talking about golf. Yeah. I mean, it's going to rain, so it's not going to happen. But
we do have that freedom, and then if we wanted to, we could play the round and work right after or work before. And
well, look, I am slowly but surely
retiring.
No, that happened.
Is that what you're doing? Is that what happened?
I am slowly but surely like breaking the mold with you, trying to have you see that just like if you step away for 4 or 5 hours, it's not like nothing's going to stop. And if you step away for 4 or 5 hours, it's not as though like you were 100% productive in those 4 or 5 hours anyway. So it's really like missing 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever. But the point is, it's taken a long time. I mean, I think I've been working you for like 2 years, like trying like to like have you calm down a little bit.
Yeah, you got to make time for play, and I don't know. Well, inspiration strikes at random times. So look at this morning, we came up with this whole product to sell, and if you guys are golfing, we might come up with an idea then. You never know.
Yeah,
it's important to get out.
I think we started talking about it at the meeting. Like we had lunch, or no? Did we start?
We got on a call.
Oh yeah, we got on
Trevor.
a call. Oh yeah, that's right. And then right after the call, it was like I went on Alibaba. I communicated with a seller. While I was doing that, I bought the domain. He was setting up ClickFunnels, setting up Stripe, doing the whole thing. And by right now, we can start running a Facebook ad by the end of the day.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Start testing it.
It's pretty amazing.
And we're gonna test the product. We haven't bought the product yet. We're gonna see what happens.
I forgot to tell you guys this. So there's this guy called Matt Fury that I'm studying right now. He just kind of got back in the game, and he's like known as one of the best copywriters like to ever be out there. And when I first got here, Kevin and I bumped heads because Kevin is a perfectionist, and I'm like, just get the thing out there and see if people want it. And I thought about you, Kev, when I read this, and he basically said that I believe this legend, I forgot who he quoted, so I'm not 100% sure, but this really famous, wealthy, like, copywriter said, money rewards speed. So basically, he's saying like that money doesn't reward perfection. It's just a way to like find ways to procrastinate. Mm-hmm. Instead of just doing it, getting it up, it's not going to be perfect. Money will reward that. And it's something that, I just read this from him, but it's definitely something that I think, like, it's true. Like I told you this thing with Gretchen. Like, it's not perfect. It doesn't look good. It was like I boosted a post, and all of a sudden, 150 people bought the course. And I think it's and the course is not even done. It's like they early registered to it. So partly why I'm saying that is like what you're saying with this business thing. Like we didn't like contemplate anything. We spoke about it. We got in the computer. Boom, done. And I think money's going to reward that.
I think it's interesting because you're kind of putting more thought into it than I thought you would. Like, right? He's like kind of questioning the images.
There's a difference between making it
look good,
and taking too much time. Like, it doesn't mean like
that's normally the things that I would worry about.
Well, because
role reversal.
Yeah.
Because I truly believe that you don't really know. Like, we have this client right now who we moved their landing page from ClickFunnels to like WooCommerce, and literally just like the move, like their sales just dropped. And we didn't copy the I mean, it's the exact landing page, only there are different colors. Things are like in a different order. And like we don't know always why things are working. And like we just take for granted that they're working. So, for example, there's a blue header that goes across this landing page that is not on the new page, right? There is a title in that bar. In the new page, there's a logo in the bar. Now, who knows if the logo makes it look like a company trying to sell you something, whereas the blue bar looked like an article. Like, we don't know that. So I guess like the point is like making it look as close to the model that is working and then testing against that. We don't know psychologically why things are triggering people to do. It's hard to know that.
Yeah, I mean, like when I was putting the page together, I was copying and pasting from ClickFunnels over to WooCommerce and almost taking some of the styling that the website had on it, and like even the heading styling, and for the top of the paragraphs, the boldness or the color, like just little minor differences like that. You never know if that could have an impact on somebody.
And it seems like it has. Like that's the funny part is like not many people are even adding the product to the cart.
Yeah, we thought that maybe it was like because there was an extra step with the cart. You had to send them to the cart first.
They're not even going to the cart.
They're not even going to the cart, which is like kind of mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, so that's sort of why I'm a little bit more, because I want to get this thing as close to what has been successful in the past, because then you could take the variables out.
Right.
Like if you copy it identically and then it doesn't work, now you're thinking, okay, maybe the website's too slow. Maybe something's not loading quick enough, or maybe a button's broke. Maybe a link is broke. Though you could start narrowing it down, but like right now we don't know what's broke because we didn't copy it identically.
Yeah, I'll have to revisit that. I'll have to just go through
and just make it look.
The ClickFunnels is still active. We still have that. Yeah, so I'll just try to copy it exactly, the same exact layout, the same width. Who knows? Maybe the width of the page is a little different. The words aren't flowing as the same way. It's like there's so many different things that could happen.
There was one thing that like and it's funny because this is a different scenario, but we created the same product or the same landing page, and Kevin said, hey, let's move the product up so that people would see it faster, and that didn't work. And it's like, well, just because they see the product faster doesn't mean that you've sold them yet, right? So the people who actually read through it and see the product are sold on the product, and it in turn works better than if they see the product way up. So just something that you don't really know. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, so I'll go in and I'll make it exactly as it should be, and we'll see, because that's the only way to know really what the problems are. But we did up front though, when we launched it, we got 5 or 6 orders in a couple days, and then they just died. Like I don't know what the hell happened. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's a lot of pressure because our client is like, is like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, and we don't want to just keep spending their money
right,
without seeing the results come in. So anyway,
so we kind of got off track of what we were going to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about that next time.
Oh, okay. So
save it for another.
We'll save it for another one. I think that was good for this one. You guys got anything you guys want to add? I think that was a good chat.
No,
yeah,
that was good.
No, I mean it was good. I think they're a little easier. They're a little nicer to talk about.
Well, it's funny because when we had that conversation this morning, I was like, we should have been recording then.
Yeah.
Like because we've almost had a mini.
We duplicated
a conversation we had this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's better that way.
We're getting better.
Yeah.
We're getting better at doing it totally off the cuff and not preparing. Because even though this was casual, we still prepared a little. But we got to just throw it on.
You have to prepare. But I mean, I think there are a lot of little lessons in today, right? Like
definitely
that may or may not have been planned. Right. And we're still bringing obviously our experiences, so to speak, but we're just doing it in a different format, which I think is cool because
it's more real, It's more
Yeah.
actual life experiences, events.
It's relatable, I think. Hopefully for the
Instead
listeners.
of coming to you and saying, this is how you need to do this, or this is the way you should do this thing, or, I don't know. Much better. So, anyway. All right, guys.
Well,
we're all good. Thank you guys so much. This has been episode number 65. Check us out at ecommerceuncensored.com, and we'll talk to you guys really, really soon.
Later.
See ya.